What?
And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner!
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
All Man United fans live in the past.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to We Are Soccer. This is the weekly recap from We Are Soccer, and there's lots to talk about. Yes, there was some shit that happened. We'll get to that. All right, lots of news has happened in the past couple of days. Unbelievable. Kane has gone to Bayern Munich, and he actually played less than 24 hours after signing the contract. I'm actually stunned with that. The EPL is back. La Liga is back. Real soccer is finally back. Oh my gosh, I could not be happier. Watched almost all the games this weekend. Lots of soccer. All right, Mbappe is going and doing. He's coming now. Okay, we'll get to that. And Moises Caicedo, moving from Brighton to Liverpool. Nope, not Liverpool. Back to Chelsea for a record fee of £115 million. We'll get to that as well. We've got Women's World Cup to talk about. We've got lots of games. ACL injuries. Haaland did what Haaland does. Scored goals. And yet Pep still gave him some crap. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about some of the refereeing decisions that happened this weekend. Ooh, good friend of the show, Dwan Jones, rumored to be heading to Europe. Ooh, we'll talk about that. We've got lots to get to. Couldn't be happier to be with you guys. Yes, Aston Villa got thrashed 5-1. Bunch of shit. All right, who we got over at the kids' table? Boys, how we doing? We got Danny and Brooks. What's going on, fellas?
All good. All good. Fantastic weekend this weekend. Obviously, Christmas morning with the English Premier League starting again, the Bundesliga Super Cup final. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, We Are Soccer Show proudly presents to you the most electrifying man in sports broadcasting, Brooks Lambier Jr. How was that?
Oh, that's good. I like it.
You like that one?
It's always good to change it up a little bit.
It's always good to change it up. And, I don't want to take Nate's spotlight away from him, so I thought I'd create something of my own.
Nate's eventually got to make one for he did one for you and I when all four of us were on there, but, he's still got to find the niche, for you.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
All right, Brooks, how was your weekend?
Good. College preseason starting. So today I was just at Western Michigan watching them play Xavier, and then I was at Friday night. Oakland was playing Chicago State. So, and then I was at DCFC match with some friends on Saturday night. So lots of soccer.
How was that DCFC game, man?
Good. Ben Pierman coming back for the Charleston Battery, former DCFC coach. So, coming away with the 1-0 win. Good for Ben. Obviously him with being a little vocal on Wednesday night at Louisville City. That was, that's Ben for you. He means no harm. He's just honest. He's a straight shooter. It was good. Augustine Williams for Charleston Battery, actually a guy that our group actually found in California, and he was at T2 when we were with Timbers. And then he's kind of bounced around a bit, but that was a good stuff for Augie Williams, the center forward for Charleston, and lots of fans there, over 7,000. So it was good to see that. Good to see if they'll maybe in these next few years eventually build a stadium of their own, and then get 8,000-10,000 people in there possibly.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Lots to get to on that there. All right, boys. Listen, we've talked about it for weeks. Absolutely, it's the story of the summer. It's dragged out. Actually, it's been the story for the last 3 summers, I think. Harry Kane has finally left Tottenham. It had to happen. We predicted it several months ago. Then we changed our minds. Then we changed our minds again. And then we changed our minds again. And it seems that's exactly what Harry Kane did. But it came down to the wire, and he made his decision. He left. Officially, I believe it was Thursday that it happened. He flew in on Friday. Alan Shearer was the pilot. Just kidding.
Oh, I saw that. He got the pilot's hat.
Well, we'll
apparently.
explain that joke in a minute.
Huh.
We'll explain that joke in a minute. So officially, Harry Kane on Friday went to Bayern Munich, signed the papers, did the medical. Everything was gung ho and ready to go, and I did not see it. This is I don't even. It's stunning to me. He was in the game squad to play on Saturday. Against RB Leipzig, less than 24 hours after signing papers. I thought there had to be registered, he had to this and that, and nope, he jumped in the 64th minute, he was subbed in. Unfortunately, he didn't win a trophy, so his curse has come along from Tottenham all the way to Bayern, but we will talk about that. Boys, listen, we've talked about it for a while now. It happened. Danny, your thoughts particularly. Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. We didn't see it, did we?
Well, we both have to eat a little bit of humble pie, don't we?
Yeah.
I thought Craig was calling this one all the time.
No, I said he wouldn't go. I said he wouldn't go, and then I was kind of sold on the staying at Tottenham, and with the contract with his contract being not renewed and going on a free, I thought he was going to stay and run it down, and he's obviously gone, and we have to eat a little bit of humble pie, but. I think I was saying this the other day. I think it's an interesting move. If you kind of look at his career right now, what he's done, with England and winning the not winning the Euros, but coming back from doing something with the goals and breaking Wayne Rooney's record and all that sort of stuff. That was obviously really important. But he hasn't won any trophies with Tottenham, and I think it's an interesting move for him because it's almost like starting his career over again.
But isn't there something refreshing about that as well? He's probably sick of a little bit of the English media, he's sick of the pressure there, and he said there's a genuine top-level team, a genuine club that is maybe top 5, top 10 in the world, has a shot almost every year at winning the Champions League. They've got a shot at winning their domestic titles, and they want me, and they're willing to pay me a lot of money. I want to start over. I want to try something new because this is probably the last chance to go and do something like this. So, I don't know, a little bit refreshing, right?
Yeah, he's going to win the league there, right? I mean, they've won it, the last 14 years in a row?
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to win the league there. He'll probably win the league, their cup over there, the German Cup. And, obviously with him, they didn't look too great at the weekend, I will say that. But, with him, they've got a good chance of doing something in the Champions League as well. So, I mean, he's definitely put himself into a stronger position than he was in Spurs to win trophies. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's an interesting move. I don't recall many Englishmen going, across from England to Germany to.
Well, this late in their career, at least, right?
No, I don't recall. I mean, Michael Owen went to Real Madrid a lot younger than that, right?
Mm-hmm. And Bex went to Milan, and then or Real Madrid.
Yeah, so
first,
it's a risk. But he's definitely. I mean, they're going to win. He's going to win trophies. It just depends on what he's going to be satisfied winning.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, to be honest, he's going to tear that league a new one. I think he's going to be the Golden Boot winner. I think he's going to find it. And no offense to the Bundesliga, but he's been doing this in the Premiership for years now. 4-time Golden Boot winner in the Premiership. You don't get to be that good and do that well in the Premiership and then go to somewhere like the Bundesliga, which is just a little bit, in my opinion, just a little bit, Nate's going to throw something at me for this, a little bit lower than the Premiership. But I think he's going to tear that up with the service and the way Bayern plays. They are going to really funnel everything towards him. I think he's going to tear that league a new one. And good for him. And that's what he wants to do. And that's what he wants to go and win. And good. I'm happy to see it. Brooks, to clarify your point, it was actually, I think back in January or February that, yeah, I called it. I said, I think a great landing spot. I can see Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich. And everybody looked at me and said, you're an idiot. And it happened. But I got to step back and say, I did at about 6 weeks ago, just as the summer was coming into view, said, I'm going to step back and say, no, I don't think he goes to Bayern. I think he stays at Tottenham. I really think he'll find his way at Tottenham and he won't leave. Sure enough, should have stuck with my original prediction because there he is. He's off to Bayern, and there it is. Yeah. I love it. I think it's a great move. I love the fact that he doesn't care about the scoring title. So just so everybody's aware, he is only 48 goals behind Alan Shearer, who is right now the all-time leading goal scoring, holds a leading goal scoring record in England in the EPL, in the Premiership. So, I don't know, good for him, man. Hey, you know what? I think you got to imagine that the Saudi Arabia knew he was on the lookout, and you got to believe they probably pushed some money in his direction, had that conversation, and he said, "No, I'm either going to stay in the Premiership or go to the Bundesliga." Good for him, man.
Well, he was staying or going. I mean, Daniel Levy was never going to sell him to any other Premier League club. Not this year. It was always like, just we'll let him walk then.
Right.
I don't think you wanted to let him walk for free, so getting the money now for him in the last year of his contract was important.
And holding out for so long, because Bayern Munich have been rumored to be in negotiations with Daniel Levy and Tottenham for the past 3-4 weeks. We'd heard 5 weeks ago that Harry Kane had signed a pre-contract agreement with Bayern Munich, and all that needed to be happened was Bayern and Tottenham negotiating, coming to a fee, and Daniel Levy held out. He held out, and he got an extra 25 million euros.
Mm-hmm. So my question for you guys is this a one-off that Harry Kane did this and is kind of in his later years, still kind of prime years and going to the Bundesliga? Is this a one-off, or do you think players do this a little more? Because, to tell you the truth, man, I think a lot of players are fed up with a lot of the BS that goes on in the Premier League with a lot of the top teams and whatnot. And it's like, man, if I really actually want to probably win trophies, besides, I think people play a lot of fed up with a lot of the BS that's going on in the Premier League, and they may jump to other leagues like La Liga or Bundesliga.
What do you mean by BS?
I mean, I think Harry Kane, honestly, was just like all the media stuff and just the drama that surrounds clubs sometimes, and just all the stuff where Man City's buying players left and right with the oil money they have, and, I mean, the mess with the Man United and everything. I mean, I think eventually that just kind of takes a toll on all the players, and like our league's kind of, I wouldn't say a joke, but it's kind of getting to a point where it's the merry-go-round and you're never certain about what's going to happen. Whereas at a La Liga and a Bundesliga, maybe it's a little more certain of the teams and their structure, and, there's fair play and whatnot. So,
see, I mean, personally, I think it's a little bit of, he's gone there as an easy way out, in my opinion. I mean, he could have stayed and, and sorted out at Tottenham and then moved, and, he could have got multiple things, right? He could have gone to United, won trophies, and also broke the record. So for me, I think it's a bit of a, and I love Harry Kane. I think he's a fantastic forward, world class forward. Let's not cut it. He's a world class forward. But I think it was almost like an easy way out for him in a way. It's like fresh start. I'll go somewhere where I'm definitely guaranteed a league title. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, and obviously being English and being very high on the Premier League, is that even if he comes back with that title, to me it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. And Nate will probably kick my backside for that, but to me, it doesn't mean anything. It's just
it doesn't. Can you name any player currently playing at a top level club in the Premiership that has won, and how many have they won Bundesliga titles?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
couldn't name them.
No, Nate probably could have with all the Germans that came over, but
I will say, Brooks, I like.
I think there's a lot of elitism, and I think people are getting sick of the elitism of the Premier League, in my opinion.
But Bayern have won 11 out of the last 12 Bundesliga titles.
You can't get more elitism than that.
But I would say elitism, like I always tell you guys, is like I always, the Premier League, the American has to go to the Premier League if he wants to be someone. I think things can churn and cycle a bit, and the Premier League has to watch out, in my opinion, because
I don't think the Premier League is worried at all.
Premier League is worried about anybody, mate.
I'm just saying
they are head and shoulders above every single other league in the world.
It's to elitism.
So I watched, the German Cup final, and I watched the Barcelona Getafe game today. Caught a little bit of the second half of the Real Madrid game yesterday. Yep. Mm-hmm. The Barcelona game and the Getafe game, which we'll get to later, was a snooze fest.
Yep,
literal snooze fest. And that
just possession soccer, not much attacking.
Yeah, 10 years ago, everybody was saying that La Liga is the best league in the world.
Sure.
And it really wasn't. It just had one of the best players in the world. Yeah. Well, actually, both players.
It had two top players going on each other, and you were lucky if Atletico Madrid came in some years to make it interesting, right?
So, I mean, the Premier League is always going to be the top league. It just, there are going to be certain situations. Michael Owen was one of them. He left Liverpool, won a couple of trophies. He actually won a Ballon d'Or there, and then went to Real Madrid.
I think another, sorry to cut you off, I think another player that most people forget about is Steve McManaman.
He did. He did go to Real Madrid.
At a very young age, too, went from Liverpool to Real Madrid and did very well.
Oh, he did, but that was when Liverpool weren't winning any trophies.
This is true.
So, I mean, he went, and went abroad. So, I don't, No, I don't think it. I definitely don't think the Premier League is suffering. We've lost a great player, but we brought in Haaland this past year.
No, I understand.
better-
I don't
better
think
forward.
I don't think suffering is the word. I think is the start of something interesting where, just like I said, I just there's so much going on, and I think it's just chaos and headaches for people that they're like, why do we want to be a part of this?
I think it's a second option for a lot of players. So it's an option for a lot of top level players who maybe aren't going to be in a spot where they want to be in England. So if they're not going to a big club, if they're at a big club and they're not getting trophies or they're not getting their way or something's not happening, the Bundesliga is the next option where they can be a top player at a top club.
Because if Champions League, like we always talk about, is the end all be all, like a lot of people talk about, then you can go to La Liga or the Bundesliga for a top team and win Champions League. You know, sometimes I feel like people put Champions
Potentially.
League above
Sure.
league titles.
Yeah, well, let's
True.
jump ahead and let's talk about a title that Harry Kane could have won yesterday, the Super Cup with against RB Leipzig. I forget.
I
how
love
it-
the announcer ESPN Plus yesterday. It was Leipzig.
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 He
And he kept putting the
is-
zig on it. It was awesome.
He is brilliant. I absolutely love the way he pronounces. He's English, but he absolutely pronounces the German club names and players like to a T. It's brilliant.
Like I told you, if you're annoyed with them, just
No,
mute
no,
'em.
no.
That's what I do, man. Like,
I was
oh,
annoyed at. I don't like Peter Drury, and I do not like Lee Dixon.
Lee Dixon, Graham Lasso.
Graham Lasso is okay. I don't mind him. I thought he was really good in the Liverpool-Chelsea game today, but Peter Drury on the call yesterday just, oh, God. Anyway. So listen, Bayern Munich played Leipzig yesterday, and we're down 3-0. Harry Kane did come on in the 64th minute. Danny Olmo absolutely ran the show. Was it the second or the third goal where he got in the box and spun and then nutmegged the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was dreamy.
oh my God.
I was watching it. It was like poetry in motion.
Oh.
Honestly, it was so good. It was a great game, actually, to be honest.
It
And
was.
I did say tonight that I'd start watching more Bundesliga so I could give him a little more crap for it. But
Yeah.
it was two good teams. And, you know, I fully stand behind my prediction last week that RB Leipzig are going to finish second in the Bundesliga. I thought they were terrific yesterday. Bayern didn't play very well.
They also had an 18-year-old who started up front and played the first 64 minutes. The Kane sub 18 and 19-year-old, and he took a lot of racial abuse afterwards after the game on Twitter, actually, or X as they're now calling it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Danny, but yes, you are 100% right. Bayern played with some players out of place and some, we'll call it, not starters.
I love the way that Leipzig set up. You know, they dropped off into a block, and you know they made it really difficult for Bayern to play through him.
not afraid to do that, you know?
Yeah, and it was really strange actually because if Kane had started the game, I think Bayern had won because Bayern actually created quite a few chances in the first half that the young lad up front
Yeah,
missed.
yeah,
You know, and he didn't take his chances. So
How surprised were you, though, that, on Friday, he moves, signs contract. Saturday, he's actually in the squad, the match day squad. I couldn't believe that. I don't remember the last time I've seen a player sign and the next day they're playing.
Well,
I don't remember that.
he's had a preseason for Tottenham.
Yeah,
You know, he's had a full preseason.
Hasn't
he's
trained
fit.
at all with new team, doesn't know the style, doesn't know the tactics, and all. I get it. He is
one
of
day,
the-
Craig, it'll happen on the same day.
Oh, jeez.
Good players find a way.
Yeah.
You know, and he actually, to be honest with you, when he came on, he didn't do anything that half an hour.
No, he
Really
didn't. He couldn't figure.
No.
But I think that's partially because, like you said, RB Leipzig, they sat in that low block.
Yeah.
They had 36% possession. Leipzig did.
But their
So almost nothing.
counterattacking was lightning fast.
Counterattack like wonders. Oh, absolutely.
I've seen a lot of MLS teams do counterattacking soccer before, and when it's very effective when you can put teams in bad positions, and if you catch them off guard too high, you know, it's very effective.
Best team ever to counterattack, Danny and Brooks. Best team you've ever seen. Sit back, lure the other team in, and then counter.
Villa?
Nope.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna
No, no,
answer
no.
that. Oh, okay.
No. Best team ever. Who have you seen?
I'm biased. United 08, United 2008 with Rooney, Tevez, and Ronaldo were the best counter-attacking team in world
See,
football.
I think it was Arsenal a couple of years before, just after the Invincibles. That Arsenal team.
With
they did-
Arshavin up front, Arshavin
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Fabregas behind him, Henri, and those
Yep,
guys. Yeah, they were. I
yep.
mean, but they had to play that way in Europe.
Yep.
When they beat
Mhm.
Barcelona at the Emirates that one year.
Yeah.
And I think it was born out of the back. It was Campbell to Fabregas, Arshavin, Nasri. It was what a counter-attack. It was awesome.
Anyway, yeah, we got off topic a little bit there. We could segue into a lot of different things. But anyway, Bayern lose 3-0 to Leipzig. Danny, again, I don't think a lot of people understand how good Leipzig are and how entertaining the Bundesliga actually is. That game yesterday, I thought was really enjoyable, and I'm really looking forward to the start of the Bundesliga season coming up next week.
It'd be interesting to see the response by Bayern, because they play Leipzig, I think, in like 3 weeks.
Yep.
But it's at Leipzig.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that.
All the other German teams are actually playing in the DFK Pokal Cup this past week. Now, one thing I learned, which I did not know about, and I was blown away and absolutely love it. All the higher level teams, on the Bundesliga 1 teams, they go and travel to lower level teams, Bundesliga 2 and
Should be
3
for
and 4.
every league in the world.
That's the way it should be for every league in the world. So they get drawn out of the hat, no matter whether you're first or second. The top level team travels to the lower level team for the Pokal Cup. I was absolutely blown away. I did not know that, and I think it is wonderful because those lower level teams depend on gate receipts. They depend on people coming in and buying tickets, and it is wonderful to see. And there wasn't very many upsets.
By the way,
but it was great to see.
Before we move on from the Bayern Munich RB Leipzig game, there was a funny little video of Harry Kane was surrounded by a referee.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I don't think Harry Kane understands what he's saying because he doesn't understand German yet.
Yeah, there was the Harry Kane was trying to go and explain or plead for his cause, and he just
his face was like
froze up. He's like, they don't understand what I'm saying, and I have no idea what they're saying. Welcome to the Bundesliga, Harry.
Yeah.
Oh,
What was that? What was that thing on Sky Sports that he did with Harry Kane? Was that the same thing?
No, that was different. That was Harry Kane.
Oh my God, that was
Harry
hilarious.
Kane. Harry Kane going to Bundesliga, going to Bayern, and that's brilliant, by the way. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, jump on the Facebook group. There's a post that has BBC. Who was it?
Sky Sports.
Sky Sports.
Sky
did it.
Sports.
Yeah, you're right. All right, we got a lot of other stuff to get to here. We're going to talk about Mbappe and where he is going, staying, what's happening there. Before we do, though, I do want to say a big thank you to our partners. Thank you, Soccer World. You can visit them at soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. That's online. And if you're in the Metro Detroit area, they have 3 locations. Thank you to Next Level Training, Aaron Bird, Scotty Wright, Renato, Dylan, the boys, some of the best trainers in the country. Talked to Aaron this week. Got a nice video coming out. We talk about some of the players he's been training. Thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. They supply the beer for us here. We are going to be out at Dog and Pony Show Brewing in the next couple of weeks. Come out and visit us. If you haven't gone to Dog and Pony Show Brewing, give it a try. They're in Oak Park. What a beautiful, beautiful brewery.
Yeah.
You sit out on the patio. They got food trucks.
Food trucks are awesome. I don't think there's one bad food truck that comes through there. And from when Craig and I were talking last time to the guys that were in the food truck, they were like they had to book this months in advance because there's so many people that want to just sit out there because they have so many people there.
Dog and Pony Show Brewing, man.
Yeah.
They're popular and they are awesome.
Yeah.
Their beers are phenomenal. Thank you to the Michigan Jags, one of the best clubs around. Appreciate you guys. Paul and Scobie and the boys do a great job. My kids play for the Jags, and the new season has started up. We could not be more excited. It's going to be a great year. All right, listen, boys. Before we get to Mbappe, I want to get to this record transfer fee in England that just happened today. Brighton Hove Albion purchased an Ecuadorian player a couple of years back, I think about 3 years ago now, for £4.5 million. They loaned him out to a team in Belgium, brought him back. He's played well. And now they just sold him today for £115 million. That's a new British transfer record fee. He was going to Chelsea. Liverpool hijacked it. But Moises Caicedo said, no, I do not want to play for Liverpool. I want to go to Chelsea. And everybody wondered, well, why? What's going on? I thought maybe there was more money in it for him at Chelsea. Rumor today came out that he actually is a huge fan of N'Golo Kante, has followed him for years, loved the way N'Golo Kante played at Chelsea, just became a big Chelsea fan. So when the opportunity popped up and he agreed to terms with Chelsea a couple of weeks back, he kept his word, and he is now headed off and will be signing with Chelsea. 115 million pounds for Moises Caicedo. Yeah,
Call that good business.
I call it great business by Brighton. Absolutely great business. A bit much, though. I think it's a bit much. I mean, the transfer fees have gotten silly, but that's ridiculous.
Stupid.
Well, if they're willing to pay it.
Ridiculous.
It's so silly because when Liverpool were in for Jude Bellingham, right? Yeah, Jude Bellingham went to Real Madrid for 95, right? And now we're seeing this 115 million pound bid going for Caicedo to Chelsea, right?
How much was
Caicedo's nowhere near Jude Bellingham.
Nowhere near.
agreed? But the Arsenal from West Ham.
Rice.
Yeah,
I mean,
how much did he go?
105.
105, but Rice is in and around that boat. I wouldn't say he's 105, but he's in around that boat. Definitely is not as impactful as Jude Bellingham, but very,
I
very
think
good player.
Caicedo plays for the Colombian National League, if I'm not mistaken. I hope he does.
I want to say the best bit of business that was done all summer was actually by Real Madrid, getting Bellingham in early for the amount they paid. I think officially it was 105 million. Euros.
Yeah, with add-ons. Yeah,
with
95
add-ons and
million,
everything,
something like
right?
Yeah.
Because if Caicedo and Rice had gone earlier, Bellingham's stock would have risen even more, and he would have been 125 to 130. So best bit of business there was by Real Madrid, but it has gotten a little silly. I think now Chelsea have spent in the last 2 years, year and a half. It's just close to £1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just ludicrous. Their 90 million pound man today, Mudryk, came off the bench in the 80th minute, I think. We'll talk about that game, Liverpool-Chelsea, in a couple minutes here. That transfer still blows my mind. I think they were fleeced on Mudryk. Anyway, but Caicedo, the drama is over. He is now headed to Chelsea and signing.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of these clubs that aren't owned by billionaires and oil money have to kind of play that game. You know,
I would like
you kind of dangle things in front of people, and you're like, "Oh, you're gonna take the bait? Like, okay, like you took the bait, you gave me the money. Like now I can help my club grow."
Go ahead, Danny.
The
Sorry.
funny thing about the Caicedo deal was, you got £100 million deal agreed with Liverpool. Player doesn't want the move. Medical's booked. Player doesn't want the move. Tells Liverpool he's not going. Right. So goes back to Chelsea. Brighton and Chelsea are still haggling out the deal. And while that's going on, Chelsea is still pursuing Lavia from Southampton, who Liverpool want as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to go after them both. But what a if they do get Lavia over the line, right? What a midfield that they have between Lavia, Fernandez, and Moises Caicedo.
Well, then that kind of pushed Tyler Adams out of the way, and now he's trying to.
I was saying, and unfortunately for Tyler Adams, he was booked to go down and take a medical or be a Chelsea player, and now they've said no, sorry.
I think
you're
that's
out.
good for him, though. He shouldn't be there because
Agreed.
I just think it's endless amounts of horror there.
Do you remember the Obi Mikel
Oh yeah.
transfer saga? Chelsea, Man
John
United
Obi
from
Mikel,
Lille.
and when he drove somewhere, and
France?
sat in a parking lot.
So the whole story behind that is that Man United agreed a deal with Lille in France for him, right? They paid a fee and all that sort of stuff. It's come to Old Trafford to sign all the documentation and stuff, signed on the dotted line, and then Mourinho came in for him at Chelsea and said, "No, I want you here." And he's flipped a switch and gone and claimed that he didn't have representation or an agent at the signing. And then there was also a rumor floating around that the guy had been kidnapped and taken to Old Trafford to sign the deal. And it was this whole massive mess, and that's the Caicedo deal reminded me of that. It was like this whole big drama piece, So
It's drama. These transfers are drama. They're big money.
That's what agents are
deals.
going to do now.
It's
This is what agents are going to do now. It's like we're going to create scenarios like, we're gonna, he booked the wrong train and he ended up in Manchester instead of London.
I mean,
or he was in France now. Oh, you're supposed to go there, and
any excuse to get more money for these agents is what it's come down to.
Yeah. Did you guys see Kasper Schmeichel might be wanted by Chelsea?
Kasper Schmeichel might be wanted by after the display today because Kepa is now leaving and heading off to Real Madrid.
So he's going from wine
one saw
country
that
in
coming.
Nice, which Nate and I always joke about. So he's going to Nice back to London, to England.
I think
I like that
Chelsea can
move.
do better than Kasper Schmeichel, who wants to kind of take it easy. It was his choice to move to France.
see, the elephant in the room is David De Gea.
And still,
Chelsea?
no one wants him.
Kepa's gone to Real Madrid. What about De Gea to Chelsea?
Yeah, you two thought Real Madrid was going to get De Gea, and I'm like, I don't know.
I think it proved today in the Chelsea Liverpool game that Chelsea's backup is not.
It's not Mendy, is it?
No.
No,
Mendy's
'cause
gone
Mendy's
to
gone to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? Yes.
But
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. But the kid who played for Real Madrid yesterday, I thought did okay.
Well, maybe Gaga should have stayed. Maybe he would have actually played.
No.
No.
not
Yeah, he's
yet,
not good enough.
yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the elephant in the room, Danny, you're right, is David De Gea. How come no one's taking a flyer on him? Maybe they've looked into it and he's already said, I'm heading off to Saudi Arabia, or I have a deal. I'm just kind of biding my time. Who knows? It is very interesting.
Because Bayern didn't have Neuer wasn't in goal for Bayern the other night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with Sommer going the other way to Inter
Oh,
Milan
yeah.
with
Yep.
Onana,
Yep.
Neuer wasn't back there. So, you know, you can make an argument to say that, you know, Bayern and Chelsea don't have a recognized goalkeeper right now.
Right.
You know, so
I think I know what De Gea is doing. Think he's
Please-
gonna. Think
please
he's
tell me
gonna.
he's not going to the MLS.
No, he's not. He's not. He's gonna go to America to open up De Gea's Tapas in Florida and California. Franchise it, all right? And yeah, he's gonna start in the Spanish food
Make it
business.
stop. Make it stop,
Yes.
Craig. Make it stop.
Yes.
I don't even know what to say about that. But that is, you know what? We may have to put that on the bet board. I don't think that's going to happen. But hey, if you're
De
willing
Gea's
to put
Tapas. Yes.
De Gea's tapas.
Yes.
I would actually. I'm kind of hungry, so I may be into that.
I mean, all these guys do this. They all start the little businesses and whatnot. Maybe he just wants to retire early and do that. De Gea's Tapas, sponsored by
Oh, good
Real
Lord.
Madrid.
Did
Yeah.
you watch Klopp's interview after the game as well?
I
You
did
kind of
not.
made a joke out of it in a sense. He goes, "Well, you
Oh,
do know that we're looking for a 6." You know, I'm like, the hell are you going to get a 6 now between now and the end of the season that's not top draw because Rice is gone, Bellingham's gone, Casado's gone, Levy is probably going to Chelsea as well. You can have Scott McTominay,
McTominay or Tyler Adams.
right? There you go.
Dominate's
That's
meat
about it.
pies.
You can have
Yes.
Scott
Meat pies.
McTominay, and
Wait,
I will pay you. To
I
take
do
him.
like Scott McTominay. He should end up somewhere. I think he's a suitable
Are
player.
you taking players and putting like food after their name
Yes.
and like saying they should open restaurants? Is this like a new thing that I haven't? Is this an inside joke that I haven't?
Do you want to
been a
take him
part
at
of?
Brighton?
Yeah, I think about Braden McTominay.
Then give Zerbos a call, and you can take him for us.
I think he'd actually help them, to be honest with you.
Well, give De Zerbi a call then, and see if he can take him.
Watch, he would go to Brighton, and he'd be so magical, and he would get them in the Champions League. That's how good he is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going on the bet board.
Yeah, that definitely. Are you willing to put a six pack on that, Brooks? Because I don't think that would happen.
He has to go to. Okay, I think. Okay, maybe I overdid with Champions League, but I think he makes them more competitive and adds something interesting. And if Tyler Adams went there, I think it'd be very interesting as well. So
Yeah, this is true. I do see Tyler Adams ending up at Brighton.
Yeah.
Villa are interested again. The
I
Jack
just think-
Harrison thing is off, by the way, because he's injured for the next 6
Oh, he just signed with
Wow.
Everton.
Is that official
Jack
now?
Harrison?
Yeah,
Because
he went to
it was
Everton.
on again, off again. Talk about
Yeah.
a transfer saga, right? He went to Everton to do the medical. Villa hijacked it.
Yeah.
He talked to Unai Emery. Unai Emery said, yeah, come to us. And all of a sudden, Villa found out he's out for 6 weeks because of a knee injury. And they said, well, that's pointless. So now he's gone back to Everton and signed there.
So I'm also curious with Brighton, the young 18-year-old they brought in. They recently signed, and then I mean,
Brighton had a good win this weekend, by the way.
yeah, against Luton Town 4-1. I just with that team and the moves they make and just how they structure how their their whole club down or top
Mhm.
down is structured. I mean, you know, these no names they get. You know, like
I
look at
wanna-
Matoma. Like Matoma, I'm not saying he was a no name, but now Chelsea and someone want him for a lot more money. I mean,
they have
that's
a
the dream.
really good scouting system.
Yeah.
There was a
they
huge
do,
article
yeah.
at The Athletic about it, and I fully understood it, and I absolutely loved the article. But I will say, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, all clubs are doing that. All clubs are looking for that top level player, but they're also looking for that second and third level player that they can either purchase for cheap and groom up to the top level spot so they can sell someone. You know, the only people who aren't doing that are essentially the top clubs,
Yeah.
like the big spenders like Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, boys, I want to make sure we get to this. A great bit of business by Brighton there. Well done on Moises Caicedo, record transfer fee. I want to make sure I get to this. The other saga that's dragged on this summer, Kylian Mbappe.
oh man,
So,
drama surrounds him.
the latest on Kylian Mbappe is he's actually going to be re-signing with PSG. Are you freaking kidding me? So
With a clause.
with a clause, but
Of a lot of money to
all right,
buy him.
Danny, go ahead. What is the rumor now that he's because he missed game day one. He missed game day one. He sat in the stands and watched it. He hasn't been training with the first team, but now they've let him back in to train with the first team because there's a rumor he's going to be signing an extension. What is the clause? What's going on?
The
Luis
official,
Enrique's happy.
yeah.
That's for sure.
The,
Anyways.
the official on it is, it looks like he's sat down with Al Khalifi, right? They've agreed to bring him back into the first team football pending contractual obligations or contractual reworking his contract, basically. So that I think it was, Al Khalifi's obviously sat him down and said, look, we don't look at the money we've invested in you. We don't want you to leave on a free next year. Do the club a solid, and we'll restructure your contract, and we'll place a clause in there that if somebody comes in for you for X amount of dollars, then you can go in 2024.
Right.
Whatever that fee turns out to be, is obviously it's going to be what I would think a great deal cheaper than what Real Madrid were trying to offer him a couple of years ago at 200 million.
And people forget though the PSG actually paid 165 million euros for him 5 years ago as a 16-year-old. So they want to recoup some of that money and the money they've outlaid in salary for him for the last 4 years. So
Yeah,
you're right.
I think what will end up happening is they'll rework his contract. They'll might pay him more money. Probably get that bonus out of the way. That's he gets another 40 million, I think, around Christmas time. So they might get that out of the way, and then restructure his contract and say, okay, well, if Madrid come in for you in the summer with 150 million, you can go.
Yeah. And Real Madrid have got to be thinking, oh crap, again? This has happened again?
But they were going to pay for him anyway.
They were hoping to get him for a free next year. Yeah. They were hoping to get him for a free. I think what the rumor is that he's already signed a pre-contract, not allowed to, but he has. And they were hoping to get him for free, or there was going to be a bid this year of around 100 million, but
it's smart business, really, to be honest with you, because you can put a clause, you can put multiple clauses in there, but they might get a Man United, or they might get a Chelsea, or they might get a Real Madrid, they might get a Barcelona, they might get the Saudis come back in for him next year and just keep offering them more money.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's smart business on all sides there. You're right. Brooks, what were you going to say?
I guess the one thing for me is again, this goes back to we talked about Caicedo, the transfer, and it was a lot of money for him. Good business by Brighton, but we've talked about in our group chat is how is there a statistical measure for how much a player is actually worth and over his longevity of his career, if he's a young player, how do you dictate he's worth that much money or what's the level and the standard, of when you're in your career and the stats you put up and whatnot. I guess with Mbappe is interesting is what's enough with if I'm at Real Madrid and I'm I wanted this guy, why go after him again? Do you think we can find enough? I know he's one of the top players in the world. I understand that, but you're it's if Mbappe wants it so badly, I would be if I was Real Madrid. I'd be listen, we wanted you before, you blew us off or whatever. You didn't want to do anything or whatever. We're moving on. Goodbye.
The problem is, I don't think there's anybody in the world like him. There's actually one player that's like him, in my opinion, but a different skill set. It's Haaland. In my opinion, the best two strikers in the world, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe.
See that?
That's it.
See right there. That
you're not finding another Kylian Mbappe.
But
Absolutely
that's
not.
where you're thinking is that I don't need the Kylian Mbappe to win me stuff. I need someone close to him, but not exactly like him.
I see where you're going.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Madrid.
Everyone tries to find the exact replica of what someone had or what is there, and sometimes you just gotta pick and choose your fight. And I think some of the teams go, I want that. That's exactly what I want. The owner wants that, and I think. And that's sometimes tough to relay when you're a scout or a first team coach to be hey, we can get this guy that's pretty similar and he's younger, but he's not quite what that guy is, but we think he has potential.
Madrid have made so much significant investment in their team right now with bringing in Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga,
I just think this makes sense to go after him again.
Vinny Jr., Rodrigo. I mean, they've brought in some of the best players, young players in the world. What they are missing right now is Karim Benzema.
Correct.
True forward.
And that's not what Mbappe is. He's a winger. He's not a true 9 in my opinion.
But I think Mbappe has got the ability, just like Ronaldo did, to evolve because Ronaldo started as a winger.
True.
And then he became as a 9 and he'll evolve. He's a smart player, and those players around him will make him better.
Is Mbappe a hard worker like Ronaldo? I don't know.
That's why you stick him at a 9, because he doesn't have to work as hard as a winger does.
Well, you have to learn 9. Craig, you're a 9. You have to learn 9 tactics of moving off the ball and first time finishing and where you're in the box and
You give
being.
me the option to play out wide as a winger or up top as a 9. I go in the 9 every time because I don't have to defend as much, right? I don't have to track back.
I understand
I
that,
think
but there are
Mbappe
pros and
is
cons when you shift from winger to 9 that you have to learn that Ronaldo took on and did very well. in
Yeah,
my
well,
opinion.
Ronaldo's a different breed, right? We're not talking about the same player. Ronaldo's a completely different breed. So was Messi. Messi evolved.
Yes.
Messi started as, off the right, then off the left. Now he's in the 10.
Yeah, he'd play a tucked in winger
You know,
sometimes.
so, I mean, every player has to evolve over time, especially when you get older, right?
Yes.
And
I just
there's
think
no other player that Real Madrid can go after that is going to...
I just think Mbappe relies on his pace so much that when his pace is gone, whenever that is in his career or he gets injured, I don't know if he'll ever be the same player.
He's still got 6, maybe 7 years left with that pace. And one player I will give you as an example, who is the probably top 5 fastest players in the Premiership right now, is Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's always had that pace,
Yep.
and I think he's actually gotten quicker as he's gotten older. I think Kylian Mbappe is so quick and so skillful that Real Madrid have said he is one of the best players in the world. He will be one of the best players in the world for the next 6, 7, 8, 10 years. We want him because Real Madrid, don't forget, love their Galacticos. They love to have the best players, and I think they've pinned him. And yes, he effed him and PSG kind of screwed them over once. I think they're willing to say, you know what? We'll wait another year because Bellingham is 20 years old. Tchouaméni's 20, 21, 22. Vinicius is 23, whatever it is. They're willing to wait because once they get him, whoo,
They've not just got Tchouaméni and Camavinga. They've got Jude Bellingham. They've got Valverde.
Their academy is really good too.
They've got Rodrigo. They've got Vinny Jr. What they're missing right now is they're missing. If they got Mbappe, man, they're going to win the Champions League. That front three
100%.
and the 3 behind them is frightening good.
One thing that's really hurting them now is that they've gone, obviously, Thibaut Courtois went down with a ACL injury 3 days ago. I think it was Friday. Tore his ACL in training, so they need a new keeper. Kepa, on his way from Chelsea, as we said, is heading over there. And then in the game yesterday against Athletic Club, Militao went down.
It was a bad one as well.
Oh, yeah.
And
really bad.
It's confirmed.
It's his knee, right?
ACL injury.
Yeah.
He's out for the
I felt
year.
for the guy, actually, because he was walking off the pitch in tears. And
He knew.
Right away. As soon as he went down, his hand went straight to his knee.
Yep.
Right away.
You go back to the thing. It doesn't matter if you play on turf or grass.
We're
it
not
still
going to
hurts
that
you.
argument because I don't think it really matters, especially since these guys aren't playing on
How
turf.
many guys have hurt themselves lately on grass?
We're not going into that argument because I guarantee you there's studies that you don't know about that we don't know about. So anyway, injuries have become a big part right now for Real Madrid, and it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. But Bellingham moving there, he scored maybe a little bit of a lucky goal, upper 90 on a volley off the ground and in. They win yesterday 2-0 over Athletic Club. I do think the clause for Mbappe is specifically for Real Madrid because we all know that's where he wants to go, and that will probably happen next year if it doesn't happen beforehand. Okay.
I don't think they take him. I'm gonna say this right now. I think they find someone else at some point because it's just ridiculous.
I
the
will
amount of
bet
money.
you a 6-pack that they will come in next year and meet that valuation real quick and snap him up at the beginning of the transfer window, just like they did for Jude Bellingham at the beginning of this window. Don't forget.
Does that go into the bet board?
That will go on the bet board. So everybody
Okay.
just so aware, we have a bet board here in the studio now. I think, Brooks, are you willing to say that? I'm going to say that Kylian Mbappe, in the next 12 months, is going to be a Real Madrid player, and I will bet a 6-pack of Dog and Pony Show Brewing beer on that.
I'll take some action on that. I'll go in with him on that and make it 12.
Yeah, 12-pack. Oh.
That's fine. I think they go after someone else because he's just going to be too pricey at
It's
that point.
going on the bet board.
Okay.
Going on the bet board, boys.
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right.
Nate. You don't get any action.
No action for you, Nate.
No,
Out of
Nate
the
is
studio.
Nate is obviously sat at home and he wants to know if we can put the Kane to Muchin on the bet board for Danny because he told me how many times it would not happen. Well, Nate, here's the thing, buddy. It doesn't happen now because it's already happened. If you'd have put it on the bet board last week, then we'd be paying.
Yep.
I'd be paying out for it right now, but
Nope.
it's not going to happen, buddy.
Nada. Yeah, we do have a bet board here in the studio because we do say things and we do have disagreements, and now we're going to start betting 6 packs of Dog and Pony Show Brewing.
Can we decorate the bet
those.
board?
Yeah, we can. We've got it. I will take a picture of it before every show, and we will show it every week. All right, so Mbappe staying, re-signing with PSG. He'll be integrated back into the team because they need him. Because you know what? They drew this weekend 0-0, and they need that star striker. Lots of other stuff to get to. Why don't we jump in and why don't we talk about? Well, you know what? Before we get to the EPL.
By the way, if I win, I want chocolate milk, not beer.
No, it's called the Dog and Pony Show 6-pack.
I understand.
Yeah, you do drink the beer when you go there, right?
I do.
Yeah, and you what's Nitro for Sal? Is that it?
I do like that one.
Yeah, that's a wonderful beer.
Blueberry marshmallow.
It is marshmallow blueberry.
I will.
Chocolate milk.
If you go the 6-pack, I'll go something else. If we win that bet, him and I, you never ever wear a lacrosse shirt in the show again.
Yeah, I like that.
I think Nate would be happy about that.
Nate would be definitely happy about that. Before we get to the scores and results from Liga and EPL for the weekend, current PSG player, excuse me, Neymar.
Oh boy.
Neymar.
Oh
All right.
boy.
We had a little bit of an argument in our group text this past week about whether Neymar still got it, what he should do, what he shouldn't do. The rumor right now, as of Sunday night, is he's heading off to Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of people in Brazil right now who are unhappy that this rumor is out there, and he's going to be taking the money because they've said, you're one of our top players, and you're heading to a league that is subpar for money. We want you to stay in Europe. We were actually pissed that you left Barcelona and took the money to go to a league like Ligue 1 in France, but at least you're playing in Europe and can be considered a top European player. Now you're going to a league that no one's going to watch you, and you're just going to take the money and run. This is horrible. So a lot of Brazilians unhappy about this. Boys, I would like to see him stay in Europe for another year or two because every player who's played against Neymar has said he is horrible to play against because he's so quick and so skillful. He is a really good player, and he's got another year or two at top level, but he's deciding that essentially, we're going to head to Saudi Arabia and play for Al Hilal and take the money. Thoughts on that, guys?
You and I said this. He's a 20 goal a season when he's fit. And if I've got him for 20 games a season, I'm taking him at Man United. There's no two ways about that, right? He changes games. Guy's very, very good player. There was a rumor actually this weekend that it was going to Al Hilal, right, out in Saudi Arabia. But then the loan was going to go back to Barcelona. So he was going to sign a 3-year deal at Al Hilal, and then he was going to go to Barcelona for a year. But we all know about their funding issues at this minute in time. So, but I think that it's interesting, and it's kind of coinciding what we were just talking about Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe kind of staying and having this reworked contract, and Neymar going. When Messi came last year, Mbappe was pissed off about it, and he was just like, "I want these two out of here because I want to be the main guy here."
You're not wrong. It's funny that the rumor in the last 2 days has come out that he is heading off to Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, Neymar that is, and now Mbappe has had a bit of a U-turn and said, "I might be staying." So he really just wants to be the center of attention at PSG. You're right. You're right.
I don't think it's coincidental at all.
Do you? There was the rumor yesterday or 2 days ago that Neymar could be heading back to Barcelona. Barcelona were going to find. They can't even register players. They got Gundogan registered yesterday. Finally, took them a month to do that. But there was a rumor that Xavi said, "I don't want Neymar here. He's going to mess up my locker room. He's going to mess up the entire squad. I don't want him here." So I think there's a bit of an argument going on behind the scenes at Barcelona saying, the executive saying, I want him, Xavi saying, I don't want him. So I've heard the rumor as well, Danny, but I still think he ends up at Saudi Arabia and just stays there. Yeah. But again, listen, would you take him today knowing that he is a bit of a troublemaker and a bit of a glass, bit of a China doll? Would you take him at Man United?
I don't know. We've got one of those, haven't we, in Montreal, as Nate calls him, Anthony Martial. So we've got one of those.
He's Canadian, apparently.
Right. Yeah. Do I take him? I don't think Ten Hag would take him. I think that he's got that dressing room just the way he wants it right now.
The question is not would Ten Hag take him? Would you?
Would I take him? No, I wouldn't.
No, because he'd mess up that locker
I
room.
think he would mess up what he's building there, and I think he would mess up that. So I mean, it's probably best that he goes to Saudi Arabia because I don't think he's had a good couple of seasons at PSG, right?
Yeah, he's been injured.
His best time was at Barcelona. In fact, it's no coincidence that Messi's best time was at Barcelona, and the 2 years he spent at PSG, it was crap.
Mm-hmm.
And Neymar spent 4 years at PSG, and it's all been crap.
Yeah.
So, I don't. It's definitely not the place for them. So, it's sad really because he's one of the most electric players that the game's seen. He's a fantastic footballer, very very Ronaldinho-like.
Yep.
And now he's going off to a league that we won't see him in.
The only thing that people hate about him is his antics on the field and his rolling. Brooks, you're gonna give me one quick answer. Do you want him in the MLS, and for which team? If you say yes.
Yes.
And for what team do you think he'd best fit?
LA Galaxy.
All right, I like it. All right, we'll see if that happens because I do think at some point he does end up in the MLS.
I don't get to argue my
Because
point why no Premier League team wants him.
Yeah, I mean,
Because he's not good enough and he can't put those numbers up.
I don't want to say he's not good enough. I think
That's why he's going to Saudi Arabia for Al Hilal because his career is coming to an end. Because no one wants him because he's a cancer in the locker room, which we talked about. Because
different
he's
than
not
being good enough.
No, he's not good enough. He would fold in the Premier League if you put him against players because it'd take one tackle and he'd be out for like 3 months. And he has to play in leagues like La Liga, and I mean he'd get hurt in MLS in my opinion. He's got to go to Al Hilal.
You can find Brooks at Brooks Jr. on X or Twitter, formerly known as Twitter. Let him know that La Liga, that's why you heard it. You heard it.
Yeah.
I think Brooks has got some disdain for the Premier League.
I don't really like. I've never liked Neymar. I'm just saying I've never liked Neymar. I was happy when the Brazilian national team got slaughtered by Germany 7-1 in the World Cup.
Well,
so
a lot of us were happy about that.
Yeah, a lot of us were happy about that.
I know. I've never. He's a showboater. I don't like showboaters. I don't like. I think his dad's really messed up his career. If his dad wasn't a part of his career, I think it'd be a totally different story. I've never had respect for the guy, and I've lost respect for him. And
I think you're right on the fact that he is a cancer to the locker room.
He doesn't help anyone.
He wants too much money. He's self-centered. Yeah. But to say he's not good enough for the Premiership,
I think he's a one-trick pony.
I think Danny. I don't want to put words in Danny's mouth, but I think Danny and I are going to disagree that.
You can disagree. I'm just saying what I feel.
He is one of the most skillful players in the game today, but
until you put an athlete against him and a big guy that knocks him off the ball.
He has done very well in the 10 years he's played in international and in Champions League.
He's come up against some guys that have held him down.
I think the argument goes out the window there when you put Ronaldo in the Premier League and he lit it. Put Messi in every league he's been in, he's lit it.
He hasn't played in the Premier League though.
Yeah.
Would he have lit it up in the Premier League?
Messi's won a World Cup.
That's the one that everyone will say did he light it up in the Premier League?
7 Ballon d'Ors. Messi's won European Cups at the wazoo.
But I give Ronaldo credit when he came to the Premier League is he was soft in the beginning, then he got tougher.
Well, yeah, because he grew into the league and he had a manager that nurtured him.
Yes.
100%. Yeah,
I don't know if that would have happened if Neymar started in the Premier League. I don't know if that same thing would happen, in my opinion.
Yeah,
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to go. All right, we got a couple of minutes left before we take a break, so I don't want to jump in and talk about scores and games specifically, but let's get to some quick rumors that have happened. Good friend of the show, Dwan Jones, local guy as well, played at Michigan State, go Green. Right now, playing for the New England Revolution, has made his U.S. men's national team debut this year, has had some real good games with the U.S. men's national team as well. He's rumored to be wanted by some European teams.
One of Nate's favorite teams.
Nate's favorite team.
Yeah, who's he? What are the rumors here, boys? There's 2 or 3 teams that want him. Who do we know what the rumors
Stuttgart?
are? Stuttgart?
That was one of them.
Want him. FC Augsburg.
Yeah.
And Belgium club, I think, Standard Liège.
Yeah, that's what it was.
In Belgium, that's the one I really think he could end up at. Listen.
Does Nate want him at Stuttgart? Let's see if he responds in the chat.
Nate, if you say anything other than yes, you are wrong because Dwan Jones is athletic.
They got a right back /
And-
left back. He can play both outside back
Yeah,
positions.
He can
Nate.
play both positions. He's mobile. He's strong. He's got a brain. You're gonna want him here. I did have a conversation with this young man recently, and he said, yes, the dream is to play in Europe. So you gotta believe right now he is wanting to play there, wanting that move, and God, I hope it happens for him.
Nate's response: Stuttgart would be an awful move for him unless they sell Sosa. Sosa. It's Sosa, isn't it?
Sounds right.
Yes.
Sounds
Jones
right.
can also play as a forward, Nate.
I think.
I don't think
I think Dwan can
I don't
play
think in
anywhere on the-
Europe he is a forward.
I'd play him as a winger.
I'd play him as a winger as well. He's so
I'd
quick.
play him as a winger
Yeah.
in Germany and just have him go at people.
I'd have him just run up and down that line.
He's
See, my
athletic.
argument would be if he hasn't played in MLS, how's he going to play it in Bundesliga?
He did play in one of the U.S. men's national team games really out wide, and when USA had the ball, he played so high up on the pitch that they told him to keep running at players. So I think he can do it. It would just need a little bit of coaching, but I think he can do it. But I
for
really
me-
hope this happens for him.
I'm just saying, for me, last comment is he'd have to score some goals and get a lot of assists, in my opinion, to be effective as a winger.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, something else I want to talk about. We're not doing the grass versus turf argument here, so that'll be
Oh
for
my
another day. It'll be
gosh.
for another day.
Fine.
Because a lot of these players right now are just on grass, but the prevalence of ACL injuries has really reared its ugly head again. Specifically, in the last 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 3 days, 4 major injuries to 4 big-time players. Now, you may not think the first two players I'm going to name are big-time players, but they actually are. Emi Buendia, starting number 10 for Aston Villa, went down Friday with a ACL injury, out for the year. Starting player, out for the year, gone. In the game, Newcastle United, Villa's Tyrone Mings, starting center back, down and out with an ACL injury. Horrible injury. He was writhing in pain.
Were they non-contact?
That was a little bit of contact, to be honest. I don't know about Emi Buendia. That was in training, so I have not heard much there. But the one for Tyrone Mings, he bumped shoulders, just kind of got off balance a little bit, and his knee popped. It looked bad. An argument maybe for another day is it looked to be offsides. He was tracking back. If the referee, the linesman, just would have put the
Oh, are you
flag
going to
up.
blame the rule because they have to let it play on?
So
Is that what you're saying? Why the injury happened? 'Cause
uh,
that's been an argument. That has been an argument that they should blow the whistle if they know it and not let it continue.
and I'll give you the example is the Wolves, the former Wolves striker who's now gone to Fulham,
Jimenez.
Neves, right? Jimenez.
Yes, the Mexican striker.
When he ran into Allison playing against Liverpool a couple of years back and fractured his skull,
Yeah.
why didn't they call that offsides? It was clearly like 5 yards offsides. The linesman lets it play on. He collides with Allison's knee, fractures his skull. Now for the rest of his life, when he plays, he's got to play with a little padding, headgear.
I think
When it's clearly offsides, just freaking call it.
I think getting back to, the ACL injuries and all that sort of stuff, I don't think, we're not going to get into it today, but we can sit here and poke holes in and point to statistical analysis and surveys and all that sort of stuff that's been done, data reports and all that sort of thing. But one thing that I really want to point to is the fact that, and I know a lot of managers said this, and I've said this before, I've gone, stop complaining, but it is actually true. There's the amount of games that these guys are playing, throughout the year, and it's, you can say that, we've not really caught up yet from COVID, and actually the next European Championships will actually get back online with the fact that, there's a tournament every 2 years, but these meaningless international friendlies, these meaningless international games like this Leagues Cup in the MLS and the League of Nations and the Nations League in Europe for international, there's a lot of games that are being played on these players' bodies, and it's
too much.
It's too much.
That's what I talk
We're
about.
asking them to do too much.
So I talk about England. They need to cut out one of the cups, the Carbo Cup. They just need to.
So I'm not being biased when I say this, but if you look at Manchester United last year, they played 68 games in all competitions in 4 different competitions, all the way up until the middle of March.
Yep.
And Martinez went down with an injury towards the end of the season.
I mean, how bad?
Eriksson got out injured.
I mean, how bad do you feel for the EFL Championship teams? I mean, they played just as many games as in the League One, League Two. That's just ruining your body.
A good example of that is Man City, right? In the final game, the
De Bruyne.
Champions League game, De Bruyne goes down with a hamstring, and he just said it's been hanging on, and I felt.
And then he starts this year, and then
he went down injured in the first day.
Exactly,
Didn't he?
like,
same
why?
thing. Yeah, it's
Why?
putting a hole on people's bodies. But
Yeah.
Militao ACL injury, Courtois ACL injury. I have a feeling, boys, that there's going to be another couple that pop up in the next few weeks here. It's going to be unfortunate because those are. Yes, they're not career enders like they used to be back in, 10, 20, 30 years ago, but they still can be career changers, and depending on the age, they can be career enders. So it's unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. We could go on all day, as Danny said. There's a lot of statistical analysis there. All right, guys, listen. We got a lot to get to. We got to talk about no shirt sponsors on on a couple of teams. We're going to talk about Kepa and Willie Nananto, Tyler Adams. We're going to talk about some of the Women's World Cup. We got to get to some of the games from the EPL and the Liga that happened. We've got Wheel of Randomness we're going to pull out today and have a little fun with. Also, USA beat Mexico 4-2 in the U15 CONCACAF Finals. So congratulations to USA there. We're going to see how the WAS Fantasy team has done. Danny running that. We'll see how we are there. Right now, we're going to show you a little bit of some videos from our partners and sponsors. Get yourself a beer, get yourself some peanuts, and get back to us in a couple of minutes.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Get side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just gonna do some light shopping. Okay. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next to line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
able to get some beer or something refreshing there. And maybe next week on hand, you can have some Dog and Pony Show Brewing beer. Go out and get some. Thank you. A big, big thank you to our partners. Soccer World. You can visit them at soccerworld.net for all your online soccer gear needs. Next Level Training, the best trainers in the country. Sign up for their weekly training. Sign up for their camps. Dog and Pony Show Brewing, as I said, we love their beer. Thank you, boys, for supplying beer for the show. And the Michigan Jags, thank you for all the love and support you guys have shown us as well. All right, what we're going to do now, we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about some of the games that happened. It was, as Danny said to start the show, it's like Christmas. I got up bright and early, was watching the games. I watched the game on Friday at work, kind of had a monitor, turned the other way, kept the volume down, but it was Man City versus Burnley. Burnley, welcome back to the Premiership, my friends. And Erling Haaland did what Erling Haaland does and scored 2 goals. Man City win 3-0 to run that one out. Did anybody see Pep at halftime as they're walking off the field, kind of giving it to Erling Haaland? Everybody was wondering what was going on there. I have my own theory. I think he lunged for a ball in the back post that he should have left because Bernardo Silva was ghosting in and could have headed the ball into the back of the net. I think Erling Haaland didn't let that one go and Pep gave it to him. Anyway, some of the other games. Chelsea, we'll talk about the Chelsea game in a little bit. Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1. That was at the Emirates. Listen, I thought Arsenal absolutely looked world class in the first 60 minutes of that game, and then all of a sudden it kind of fell apart, and they brought Nottingham Forest brought on a player that gave them some fits in the back, and it ended 2-1. Matt Turner played all right. He has made his move from Arsenal to Nottingham Forest. Danny Brooks, any words on that one, or any words on those first 2 games, the Man City game? What were your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, Man City were just, I think they were in third gear throughout that entire game. I don't really think they got out of third gear. 2 great finishes from Erling Haaland early on, who got us 26 points in our fantasy league team, which is good, as captain. I made a mistake, though. I didn't put him triple captain, but we'll get to that. No, it was, I mean, City just, Burnley, to their credit, they held their own at certain times and played well throughout the game, but City are just, so sometimes they're just on autopilot, City, and they just play with such freedom and fluency. But, going back to what Pep did at halftime, I've not really seen a manager do that. And it was almost disrespectful in a way to me. You're coming off the field and you're going into the locker room, the cameraman's right there, and he's literally had to shove the cameraman out of the way.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
While he's having a pop at him, and
that's where the cameraman needs to know where he just needs to step back.
Oh no, I think the cameraman's just doing his job.
He's got every right to do that. Yeah,
I think. It's there's nothing wrong with the cameraman doing his job, because if they're walking off and Pep isn't doing that and he waits to get to the locker room, the cameraman hasn't seen anything. But the cameraman's like, I've got to go follow this player because he scored 2 goals. And the coach is giving it to him. Cameraman's just doing his job. A little disrespectful, Danny, but Pep Guardiola is one of the best coaches in the world. Do you think there's a reason behind it? Do you think there's?
I don't know. I don't know. I just me personally, I think it just should be left in house, in the locker room, in the changing room. Just get your words out there, because it looked heated. And actually Haaland was giving it back to him as well, so it wasn't like one-sided.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, City were just on autopilot.
They really were. They really were. Nottingham Forest, as I said. I absolutely, we'll talk about this in a little bit too. I thought their jersey was really nice and clean. They got no sponsor for the year yet. It's unfortunate for them because they need it. But they just look like a team that I think they got a little lucky last year. I think there were some teams like Leeds who played really poorly in the final run-up. They got a little lucky last year. They stayed up. I think this could be the year they go down. They look like they didn't have a clue, to be honest. Arsenal were unlucky not to put another ball or 2 in the back of the net.
But I thought Arsenal were poor after the 60-minute mark.
They really were.
The last half an hour, it's almost like they took the foot off the gas and went, we're just happy with 2-0. Let's get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised that Martin Odegaard didn't take over that game. I was surprised that Declan Rice didn't step in for the last 35 minutes of that game and say, all right, hey, come on, let's go. Let's pick it up here. And it looked like Nottingham Forest could get that draw. But luckily for Arsenal, they held on. You're not wrong there, though, Danny. Some of the other scores, Bournemouth won, West Ham won. West Ham, they could be. The rumor last week was that they were going to be bringing in Harry Maguire. That has hit a bit of a snag.
There are two Man United players they want to bring in.
McTominay as well.
McTominay as well.
McTominay as
Well,
well.
You would help them.
They've agreed a fee. They've agreed a fee with United. David Moyes came out in his presser on Friday and said the same, that they've agreed a fee with Manchester United for £30 million. But
the sticking point right now is the player and his wages.
The player and, well, I think the portion of, because they only wanted to pay 20 million, right? So the 10 million was to cover his wages, you know. Yeah, that one's a little bit stuck right now. And then obviously you've got the Scott McTominay one that's, you know, that they put in a bid there, but it was low. They've lowballed United, and United want a little bit more money. So we'll see how that materializes over the next couple of weeks. But
I think also the player, the center midfielder, Pachua, I forget, Luis Pachua.
Yeah,
is that how you say his name?
Lucas.
Lucas Pachua.
Yeah,
he's on his way to Man City. That's the rumor right now. So they could be losing another
again,
player.
101 million.
Is that the rumor? Is that the
so
rumor?
West-
101 million for him?
How much did West Ham buy him for?
101 million. It's just like, he's not worth it.
No way. I will say though that in that Man City game, like I said last week, I do feel they're missing that connecting player that they didn't replace Gundogan. I think they've realized that, but I think they should go get the kid from Napoli, the Greek kid, not Lucas Pachua. But hey, well, what do I know? 101 is a bit much though.
Yeah, 100%.
So West Ham could find themselves in trouble if they don't find some players to come in and fill in these holes. Brighton start off the season with a nice win there over Luton Town. Luton Town, welcome to the Premiership. Brooks.
Oh, I answered him. I asked how much did West Ham buy him for, and they bought him from Lyon for 51 million euros last August.
Fucking hell, 51 million for him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, they're making a bit of money selling him on. I would sell him on from 100.
I think they overpaid on the front end, and they're going to make City pay on the back end. They're going to get their money back and some.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Nailed it. All right. Yeah, nailed it there. Thank you, Brooks, our stato for the show.
Brooks.
Brooks.
Find a different nickname for me,
Nope.
but all right.
Nope.
I love Stato, mate.
Yeah.
I sound like a robot.
Stato's brilliant. What's wrong with you?
Stato arigato, Mr. Robato.
Oh, there you go. Nailed it. Yeah, you just found your own tune there,
Oh
my
my
friend.
God.
Stato arigato,
What do
Mr.
you want us to call you?
Arbato.
SpongeBob SquarePants or something over there?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Now we've really gone off the rails here. Brooks, you've got to be happy, though, because besides the new name we've given you with a new tune, your Seagulls got a good 3 points. They won 4-1 against Luton Town. Luton Town, welcome to the Premiership. Woo!
Yes. No, it was a good start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an important start. I mean, they got rid of they sold a lot of players, so there's a turnover. But like I said, they have a plan. They know what they're doing. They're still looking to bring in players, and then they can take that Caicedo money. They can wait till the winter transfer, and they can add some more guys. And if they can stick around, let's realistic that top 8. It'll be interesting to see where they can end up. Honestly,
They played Luton, bro.
come on.
They played Luton. You're getting all excited
no,
over there.
no,
Your
you
heart. I
need-
can see your heart bouncing out of that lacrosse shirt
You-
over there. You're getting all
But you
excited.
have to beat those teams, though. We all know this.
No,
Like
we
that's
know
the
that, yeah.
epitome of everyone is they can't beat they draw, they lose to the lower bottom teams.
Hey, listen, I've been a massive fan of Brighton over the last 2 years. I think one of my good buddies, Damien Huffer, if he's watching, I'll give him a shout out because of that. Brighton have played some really good football over the last couple of years, and
Do they have a cool seagull thing I can wear during the show or something, or like a little stuffed animal I can put on my table?
well, we can build you an aviary if you want, just like a
cage.
cage, and we can put you in that. We can do that.
We
Just
can put him
stick
in
you
a
in a
cage.
cage.
What am I gonna be, a parrot on a swinging thing
we
and
can
just
totally
swing
do
back
that,
and
yeah.
forth?
We can totally do that. We can do your hair all nice and spiky.
Listen,
It sounds like I'm at Vegas in a sex show.
If we put him in a cage on video, people might get the wrong impression of this show.
What I just said, yes.
Same.
Yes.
Same. Hey,
So yeah.
fun. Anyway.
Yes. No, but I think it's a good start. And Nate kind of said, and I thought too, it might be hard to play at Luton Town because it's a lot different of a stadium and the field size and whatnot. So, but it's a good start to the season. And I mean, 4-1, that's, even better,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
I think you're getting a little too. Again, like you said, it's a good start to the season, right? But you're getting a little too high, and I'm getting a little too low on my Villa. We'll get to that in a minute. One or two of the other scores: Everton 0, Fulham 1. Well done, Fulham, going to Everton. Listen, I will say, Goodison's it's a tough place to go with the fans right on top of you there. I will say that Fulham fully deserved that win. Everton, you are going to struggle this year. You are absolutely going to struggle unless you get a forward. Your leading the line star forward is Neil Mopay. No. You cannot do that. That is not good. You need to take some of that Richarlison money you took last summer, and spend it on a better player than Neil Mopay.
It's not just Neil Mopay. It's Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. You know, just always injured.
You mean Glass Doll?
Yeah, he's always injured. You know, so I mean, they just haven't. You know, I mean, they went in for a Langer, didn't they? And Forrest ended up getting a Langer.
Yeah.
You know, he's a winger. You know, but they haven't replaced Lukaku yet.
No, and it's been how long? It's been several years.
Lukaku the defender?
Lukaku the defender. Yes, because he cleared one off the line in the Champions League final. I'm
talking about an overrated center forward. There you go.
We've had that conversation before.
We have.
I think we all agree.
Yeah.
I think, Brooks, didn't you and I say that Everton could be relegated this year? They're on our board.
No, I had the 3 Bs, and I just did it because they all had Bs in it. So mine was
tactical analysis.
It was you and Nate.
Burnley,
Nate,
Brentford, and what was the other one?
Brighton.
No.
It was you and Nate.
Yeah, you and Nate.
All
Yes.
said Everton.
I had Everton going.
I said
down.
West
If I actually
Said
took
West
it seriously, I
Forest.
probably would have
That
put
could happen.
Everton.
West Ham,
Yeah.
Forest, and Luton. I said.
Yeah, I would have taken it probably a little more seriously and put Everton, but I had to be the one random person.
That's all right.
Yeah.
All right, so they're going to struggle this year. Sheffield United 0, Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace 1. Crystal Palace start off the season like they ended last season, winning games.
Anyone
Roy
see-
Hodgson
Right.
winning games,
You see
getting
Roy?
into fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what player was that came off the field and picked up the ball and kind of gave Roy a little. Who shoves a 76-year-old man?
I
Who
know.
does that?
Terrible.
Definitely not Roy.
Don't you?
No decency
Roy
from
is a
players
national
anymore.
treasure.
He is a national
He's
treasure,
a national
actually.
treasure.
you
You
know.
do not shove the man. He is an absolute national treasure.
You should buy him tea,
They should.
that player.
All right, let's get to it. So Villa 1, Newcastle 5. This was up at St. James's Park. Villa just looked terrible for the entire game, to be honest. Once Tyrone Mings went down, it was all just shit from there. Listen, I did get really down on the game. I'm not sure if I was more down on the game or more down on the fact that Tyrone Mings, the leader, the warrior that is Mr. Aston Villa, essentially, just gone for the season with a horrible ACL injury. He was writhing in pain. It's really unfortunate. I will tell you the 12 games that he has missed in the last 4 years for the Villa, they've won 1, drawn 2, lost 9. He is a key component to that back line. Thank goodness we have 3 healthy center backs.
Okay.
But I
that
don't
question.
know what we are going to do. We need another one because don't forget Villa are playing in the Europa Conference League now, so there's extra games. Unai Emery wants to win something this year. He wants to win silverware, so we're going to go for every freaking cup we can, every chance we can. But now we are missing a leader. Emi Buendia out, our starting center mid, out with an ACL injury. We are looking at players to purchase, and there is.
Tyler Adams.
I think it's a little bit too early to.
You don't feel that need.
I think it's a little bit too early to push that panic button. I thought,
For sure.
you know, Mings definitely getting carried off it had an impact on the team for sure, you know, and but it looked a little bit of a nasty injury, but Diaby looked sharp, and you've got Tielemans and Ramsey to come back into the team as well. So I don't expect Villa to put out results like that on a frequent time, but Emery's just done a really good job.
Well,
with
Fulham have gotten better too. I mean, don't take it away from. Or no, sorry, Newcastle.
Newcastle.
I will
Newcastle.
say,
Sorry, yeah.
I was just getting to that.
Yeah.
I will say this is that
Yeah.
Newcastle were fantastic,
Yeah.
and some people, including myself, and I actually thought that Villa would go there and beat them. I did, based off the way that they played in preseason.
Yeah.
But I massively underrated Newcastle at home. When looking at the fixture, I really did.
Do you
St.
know how many
James's
games
Park.
they lost at home last year?
One,
1.
yeah,
You know how many games in total they lost last year?
it's against Liverpool.
I think I think they lost a total of 4 or 5 games last year. One of them at home. It's a really tough place to go.
Yeah.
But like Danny, like you said, I was in the same boat. I thought Villa would actually go and give them a game and probably turn them over 1-0, 2-1. Villa had their chances. They were down 3-1. Matty Cash missed an open net. Watkins missed one. It could have been 3-3 really easily. Just wasn't going to happen. It just didn't seem like a good day. Unai Emery, after the game, said, yes, we didn't play very well. We were poor, but I'm not that worried about our performance. That will come. He's more worried about the injuries that happened.
Tonali and Gordon and Isak, they were all magnificent. And they really after Mings went off, they just cut holes through Villa.
Ugh.
They just cut holes through him, and they just really couldn't recover from that. But like I said, I'm kind of like a Villa, somebody that likes Villa this year, and I do think that they'll do really well. I really do that.
They have an enjoyable team to watch play. They really have some good players, some good English players in there as well.
He's made some great signings. I said this to you in the summertime when they signed Pau Torres, the centre back. I thought he's one of the best centre backs in Europe. He's absolutely fantastic, and Emery knows him very well from his time at Villarreal. So
is he a Spanish national team guy, Pau?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting a little down of 5-1, but I do think Villa will get back. Everton come calling next week, so I think it's a perfect antidote to come play against a team like that. Provided Villa can win, score some goals, I think it should be fine. I think the season will be okay. Based on the two injuries that happened, though, losing your starting center back and your starting center midfielder, I don't know if we're going to finish top 5 or 6 like I predicted, but that's okay. We'll be all right. I believe Unai Emery will find a way. All right, what other games? Let's talk before we get to the game tomorrow. Man United hosting Wolves. Let's talk about that Chelsea-Liverpool game today.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I kind of just, when I first sat down, I said Chelsea-Liverpool's always a great game. Top 6 teams. I went, wait a minute. Last year they both shit the bed. But
the last 4 times they played against each other, they've been 0-0 games.
Yeah. But today, they went at it, and I thought there was going to be real goals in abundance in this game. 2 goals marked offside, 1 for each team, marginal offsides. It did end 1-1, but I thought it was a cracking game, back and forth. Both teams' starting lineups and formations were, let's go at it. Let's play attacking football, and let's score goals. I thought there was going to be more goals in this game. I was really, really happy to see both managers go at this. I thought it was a great game. I was entertained.
For the neutral fan, it was a great game. Chelsea going forward were brilliant to watch. I thought they only got better in the second half.
Yeah.
Should have won it really. To be honest with you, but struggled at the back. Not sure how the 3 central defenders worked into it, and if the manager sticks with it. Diassi had a nightmare, and the young lad Colwell had. Salah was turning Colwell inside out in that first half. But Chelsea had the better chances, and I wasn't surprised to see how easily Chelsea cut through Liverpool as well in that first half, because I still think they're a top class centre back, a top class right back away from challenging again. You just saw the problems with Trent Alexander-Arnold again that were just glaring.
Why don't they move Trent Alexander-Arnold into the midfield and buy a right back? Why don't they do that?
Stats are interesting on this game.
I don't understand the Trent Alexander-Arnold thing. I just don't. He's poor. He's a poor defender, really poor defender. But he consistently plays him at right back, and you know why, right? If you look at the offside goal with Salah, the ball he played through the back line from the midfield was precision, absolute weighted, cut the defense wide open. Salah goes through and scores. It ended up being offside, but in that further position, he's great.
Yeah.
The offside goal for Chilwell. My God, he stands there and watches Chilwell from a left-back position come right across his face, doesn't track him, and they could have been 2-1 down if they weren't, if the AR wasn't there.
I absolutely agree. All right, Stato Arigato, Mr. Rabato. Give us some of the stats on the game.
I think the most interesting one is Chelsea had 65% possession versus 35% for Liverpool.
That's how Liverpool play, though. They love to break on that, to use Salah and to use Gakpo on the break there and Jota. Go ahead.
Passes for Chelsea, 698 compared to 377 for Liverpool.
Huh. Yeah.
Which makes sense. If you're playing behind a lot, you're trying to, you're not.
Liverpool were really trying to expose those spaces into the corners by getting Salah. They kept, and I'll get to this in a minute. That's why I think Salah was taken off.
What a tantrum.
Oh, he did throw a little strop and a little tantrum. But I think they were trying to put the ball into those corners for him to run onto, and he wasn't pressuring the back of the defender at all. And you saw when Doak came on, the 18-year-old that they just signed, He was going and shoving and pushing and getting a bit handsy, trying to get the Chelsea defenders to give it up or at least kick the ball out of bounds to get the ball. Salah was just letting him turn and run back up the field. Yeah. He wasn't putting as much pressure on there. To be honest, besides the offside goal that Salah had, other than that, he was fairly anonymous for most of the game.
His through ball to Diaz.
Oh, what a ball! Oh, that you're right.
It was a really good goal as well. Yeah. It was good one-touch football, well great touch, turn inside, drive at the player, and he's just picked him out the back post, and another great run. But I think it kind of outlined that Liverpool still need a top-class centre-back, still need a top-class right-back if you're going to push Trent into that midfield. And maybe they're not with the signing of Lavia if that happens. But, but then, Chelsea, again, with Christian, what's his last name? Christian the forward that went down with the ACL, another ACL injury. Cuckoo, another knee injury. He's gone down with a knee injury.
That was a lot of money they spent for him too, and from
65 million, I believe,
from
right?
Leipzig,
Leipzig.
Yeah, so they had the young boy up front, Jackson, who actually did well today.
I don't think he did. I think
he put himself in good positions.
Off the ball, he put himself in good positions, but I think he missed 2 or 3 good opportunities to really make himself a Stamford Bridge hero. I don't feel that is the answer to the question of who's going to lead the front line for Chelsea. I think they need to get someone.
No, they can't. They can't go with Jackson again because it's similar to Kai Havertz last year. It's a player that's just not. He's not a world-class striker.
Yeah, it's not.
So it's almost like you have to turn around to yourself and say, okay, the lad that they brought in is injured. We're not going to sell Lukaku now. We need him. We need him in the first team. Yeah. And play with him until January.
I had a thought halfway through the game once Jackson missed. I think it was in the second half. He went one-on-one with Alisson and blasted it right at Alisson. I said they're missing that strong center forward who can put the ball away. And I said, who's out there? All right, wait a minute. Why don't they go get someone who knows the club and knows the league? Why don't they look at Tammy Abraham? Tammy Abraham. You're not going to pay $100 million for him. You're going to
Mourinho's not going to sell him, and he suffered an ACL towards the end of the season last year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tammy did?
Yeah, Tammy Abraham. Yeah.
He likes making pasta. He doesn't want to go back to Europe. Or sorry, to England.
Should have never got rid of Giroud.
Correct.
Right.
The man with the beautiful hair.
Giroud was boss at Arsenal and Chelsea.
You're not wrong.
Should have never got rid of him.
You're not wrong. But I do think that Chelsea need to go out and get that center forward. Jackson did put himself into some good positions, but I just don't think he's got that finishing touch. Obviously, Pochettino played him today and thought maybe that might have been the only option. Overall, I thought the game was phenomenal. One thing that really pissed me off about this game, late in the second half, and I saw it all weekend actually, a lot of the players doing this, trying to get, giving that fake yellow card. Jackson went down on the floor, got brought down, and he did this, and the referee came up and said, don't do that again. McAllister, about 10 minutes later, got pulled down, got up and did this, and what did the referee do? Actually gave him a yellow card for the simulation of the. Why didn't you do that to Jackson? I saw a lot of refereeing this year, this weekend that was just
inconsistent.
Very inconsistent. Yeah. And it was funny actually. In the Villa Newcastle game, Eddie Howe was talking to the fourth official, and his assistant coach came up and started talking to him, and you saw Unai Emery come up and go to the fourth official and go, "Hey, there's 2 of them here. There's 2 of them."
Oh yeah, because the new rule only one could be standing, right?
The new rule says there's 2. I don't want to tell you to do the yellow card, but he started chuckling. He's like, "There's 2 of them here." Yeah. Well, referee, what's going on? Right? And there was several times in the Liverpool and Chelsea game today, people ran 10, 15 yards to talk to the referee who weren't the captain. What happened to these yellow cards we're supposed to see about this? It seems that already week 1 we've dropped off.
It was very inconsistent this weekend, and VAR was up to its old tricks as well. That I think, even Peter Drury during the Newcastle Villa game at the weekend, was just, with the new offside rule. I don't think he really understood it either, and it's changed so much. I don't think we really understand it as fans and supporters. So, how the referee's going to get it right. But you're absolutely right. There was so much inconsistency this weekend with the way that the new rules are supposed to be enforced. Yeah. Now, I did enjoy, and I know Pep doesn't, and I don't really give a shit, but I really did enjoy the stoppage time.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
I love
the
like in the
extended-
World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it made the games exciting.
Yes, because it gives teams chance if they're down 1-0.
In that Forest Arsenal game, I think there was a significant amount of stoppage time in there, and Forest kept pushing.
So there's one negative to that I had never really thought of. Earlier we're saying about people having ACL injuries, hamstrings because of the amount of games they're playing. They're actually playing a lot more minutes now. They're playing a good 10, 15 minutes more per game.
You got 5 subs now.
So the subs are still the same. They've been the same for the last 3 years. But a lot of these players are saying, yeah, we're playing a lot more now. There's a lot more toll on our body. So that is the negative to that. But as a fan, I want to see more time. I want to see more of this. I like the 8 minutes. I like the 11 minutes.
Do the English referees need to go to other leagues and say, get some lessons on how to referee?
I think it's bad at every. I mean, I saw some watching the German Cup final this weekend. It was there were some decisions in that game that I didn't agree with. That you look at them and you're going, you're making that one decision there about a tackle, and then 2 minutes later there's the same tackle, if not worse, and you're not making any decision at all. You're letting play on. There was an instance today it was in the second half. I don't know if you remember it, Craig, but Enzo Fernandez was in possession of the ball for Chelsea, trying to play across the 18-yard box to a Chelsea player. Hits the referee on the foot. Liverpool player comes away with it, and he's supposed to blow his whistle.
Yeah, he had sacked.
And he didn't. He played on.
Oh,
Liverpool
wow.
almost counted from it.
Yep.
Wow. Imagine if they scored. How bad that would have
Right.
been. Because that's
just
full.
inconsistency,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's deflection or comes off you or whatever. It's blow the whistle, your ball, drop, yep, play on.
Yeah, the level of inconsistency drove me crazy this weekend, and I don't. It's gonna do me in it's gonna do my head in every freaking week. The level of consistency of referees. All right, one game is left from match day 1. It is Manchester United hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves. Yes, that game is tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Danny, I want to ask you a question. With Man City winning, with Arsenal winning, with Newcastle winning, Chelsea and Liverpool picking up a point, we'll say. Does that put any extra pressure on Man United? Does it put any extra value for them to go out and win? It's a good thing they're playing at home, I would say. Probably that helps. But how are you feeling about the game with your boys at Man United?
I think 3 points is a must. 3 points is a must. Obviously I want to see a good performance tomorrow. I do think they'll come out firing tomorrow. I think that. I think he'll put a really strong 11 out. I think you'll see them. They'll be at home. The fans are behind them. I do see 3 points tomorrow. I'm really excited about seeing them play. With those other teams winning this weekend, I think that first game of the season, you want to get off to a good start. You really want to get off to a good start. So I think with Newcastle putting five away and City putting 3 away, I think you want to come out at home. And he said this. Ten Hag said this earlier on the season that they want to be more formidable at home, scoring more goals. And obviously we don't have Højlund available tomorrow, due to injury. So it'll be interesting to see who plays through the middle. I would assume it would be Rashford.
You think they're going to put Rashford through the middle again?
I would assume so because
it hasn't worked yet.
No, it hasn't. But I don't think he's got any other option because his starting front 3 without Højlund in the team for me is Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony. And he did.
McTominay?
No, no.
He
McTominay.
scored goals for Scotland.
No.
Nah, you don't touch the field.
But I'm excited. I mean, it's always good to start off at home. I'm excited. I think it'll be a good game. Wolves, obviously, they're going through a bit of a transitional period with
losing manager.
Lopetegui.
All of a sudden up and leaving because he hasn't gotten the funds to
Yeah,
buy players.
they had a disagreement and he walked, and then they brought in Gary O'Neill from Bournemouth last season. So, they're going through a bit of a disarray right now. It might be a good opportunity for us to get on the front foot and just put them away early. I was talking to my dad earlier on, and I think it'll be a good performance. I'm gonna go 3 or 4 nil.
3 or 4 nothing.
Yeah.
So you're saying I should bet a single game parlay of Man United winning more than 3 goals, Wolves not to score. Give me a corner kick over 7 corners. I gotta make this worth it.
Yeah, and I'd probably go with Rashford to score
I'd
first.
say most likely Rashford to score as well. Yeah, I gotta be honest. If I'm thinking about it, it's probably a Rashford or a Bruno to score. But yeah, 3-0 for Man United. They're going to come out. Eric Ten Hag's probably had them fired up and ready to go. And yeah, they will be aware that Man City won, Newcastle won, Arsenal won, and they need to keep up. But as you said, it's at home, and Eric Ten Hag has placed emphasis on making Old Trafford a fortress again, which last season it
Twice. We got beat twice at home in all competitions last year.
yeah it was a fortress last year, but wasn't as much as previous we'll say.
I mean, they won games, but when I go back to like 08, 99, even before that 96, 97, when we had those breakout years, and we're scoring 5-6 goals a game at home. It was unless you were playing a top 3, top 4 side. So I'd like to see us get back to that, and that's one of the things that we don't do enough of at the moment. And it was highlighted last year that we scored, I think, as many goals in the season as Bournemouth, but won more games because of it.
Yeah, and if you want to compete at the top, you're gonna have to score a lot of goals because goal difference.
Did you happen to see? Agreed. Do you happen to see how many goals last year Chelsea scored?
No.
38.
Wow.
38 goals.
I mean,
that's just over one goal a game.
They've got 35 games left.
Well, they were very close if they lost more games to being relegated.
They were
right.
They were that bad. Anyway, all right. Last thing on the EPL we'll talk about now is: did you watch that Liverpool-Chelsea game today? Did you notice anything about that Chelsea jersey?
No sponsor.
No sponsor. You nailed it.
And Forest.
Did I not say in our group text the Forest? That jersey's class. The white.
Gray.
I think it's white with the light blue lines.
Yeah.
I'm going to advise everybody now who supports those two teams.
Go buy it now.
Go buy it now.
Yeah.
Go buy it now.
Before you become a walking billboard.
Go buy it now before you become a walking billboard. Because here, Chelsea have a sponsorship agreement with Infinite Athlete, but have not yet finalized the deal. Blues could release their new home kit without a sponsor, and it looks like they will. So you can buy that kit in the next couple of weeks here before the sponsors get added on with no sponsor. Their away and their third kits have yet to be unveiled. That's how late they are leaving this. It's unbelievable. So if you are a fan of Nottingham Forest or you are a fan of Chelsea, go buy their kit now. Because
they have a stupid logo, Infinite Athlete. Come on. If you're just going to put a good one on the front, it should have a cool logo.
What's their logo?
It's like an A or something that says Infinite Athlete. I'm like, come on, really? Like,
I mean, is it any worse than the Villa's logo that has BK8 on it? And people like Burger King? Are you guys sponsored by Burger King?
Burger King 8.
Or any worse than TeamViewer?
Yeah, that's a pretty.
What the
good
hell?
one.
Man United.
What the hell is that?
Does anybody hark?
Isn't that it's an app for youth teams or something? Is it TeamViewer or something?
No. TeamViewer is very similar to like Zoom and Microsoft.
Oh, that's what it is.
Zoom and Microsoft Teams and stuff like that. But does anybody hark back to the sponsorship of old days, like Newcastle had the brown ale on there and JVC on the Arsenal?
Oh, about Carlsberg for Liverpool.
Carlsberg for Liverpool.
Carlsberg,
United had Sharp on there.
Exactly.
Aeon.
Sharp. Villa had Maita on. Oh my God, those.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. Well, the good news is for a lot of us, in 2 years, the betting sponsors will no longer be on the front. They'll only be on the sleeve. So that's nice. That'll go away. All right, let's jump over. Let's talk about the big teams in La Liga. Real Madrid beat Athletic Club 2-0. Bellingham scored, as we talked about. They looked really good, minus Militao going down for an injury. Barcelona today played Getafe and tied nil. Rafinha and Xavi sent off. Yes, Coach Xavi was sent off. Rafinha got a straight red, from what I understand, an off-the-ball incident where he elbowed someone. And Xavi sent off in the 74th minute for arguing calls. So Xavi could be missing a game or two. And Rafinha, who apparently was, from what I understand, terrorizing defenders today, looked a stud of a player, is going to be missing 3 games because he took a straight red. Real quick, boys.
All goes well for Barcelona.
Snooze fest. It was absolutely crap.
Let me ask you this. Boys. With the news of Kylian Mbappe most likely staying at PSG, Gundogan getting registered at Barcelona, I definitely picked Real Madrid to win La Liga. Danny,
All 4 of us did.
Did all 4 of us?
Clean sweep.
Do we change our minds at all?
No.
Real Madrid, so
Okay.
2-0 away showed such a gulf in quality between them and Athletic Bilbao. You know, and some of the football they played at times was
Getafi's a bottom level team, anyways, in the Liga. I mean, they're towards the bottom of the table usually, aren't
Right,
they?
but they made it really difficult for Barcelona, and there was some quality players in that team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
know?
Just
Yeah.
figured I'd ask.
Yeah, no,
Put it out
yeah.
there. You know, you gotta ask. All right, we talked about La Liga. We talked about Man United playing tomorrow. We talked about the no sponsors.
Serie A? It doesn't start till this
Doesn't
weekend.
start. Doesn't
To the
start.
19th.
I do want to say that let's quickly talk about USA beating Mexico 4-2 in the U15 CONCACAF finals. Brooks, I know you were keeping tabs on this, right?
Yeah, I tried to watch as much as I could. Yeah, so I mean, I think it was pretty easy. I think in honestly the group play. I mean, they demolished Cuba like 13-0. The actually funny is Qatar, the first match they played, they only won 3-2. And I think they won. It was like 1-0 against not Dominican Republic, but I forgot who they played. Or Panama, was it Panama they played?
So
But anyway, so
how did they beat Mexico 4-2? I mean, Mexico, are they really struggling that much at that level? Because you would expect 14, 15-year-old Mexican kids to be just creative and quick and
well, I
pacey
just
and-
think
what
at the 15-year-old level. I mean, with the U.S. the U.S. youth national team, and they have some kids that have their growth spurt. So Chase Adams, the number 9, who plays for the Columbus Crew Academy, and that kid hit his growth spurt pretty early. Let's see what happens when he has to play against guys his size at 17, 19. That's the thing with these 15-year-olds, and you look at this youth competition, is when they've hit their growth spurt super early, do they stay the same player when they keep developing? Now, the impressive thing for the U.S. U13s was a 13-year-old was playing with the 15s. Kevin Sullivan from the Philadelphia Union Academy, who is being sought after by Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund. I think Ajax is in there at one point.
So none of the big teams, huh? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of So, Kevin, I think he won MVP. Bunch of assists and goals. Phenomenal player, just tenacious. I wouldn't be shocked if you see him going overseas at some point. Possibly Germany could be the favorite, possibly. So,
Okay. Interesting.
yes, we have a guy from he's from Canada, but he played for Michigan Nationals, Isaac Tortola, who plays for the Columbus Crew Academy. So he started today in the midfield against Mexico. But yeah, no, the 15 team was a solid team. But like I said, it's just as the players develop, how does it change from like if those two teams play each other again at 17, it's the same players a little different. How does it change a little bit? You know, I think the Mexicans tend to be more tactical and technical and very they use the dark arts of the game. And I think that's where kind of we start to fault as the American players is, we have a style and a system. They're just not a little clever enough or have enough soccer IQ by the time they get to 17. It kind of like I've told people, I think we're late developers still for American players. Like it's better. It's not happening at like 23, 24, but it's got to happen quicker at that like 16, 17-year-old age or even 15 because, but again, kids have to play the game more at, 11, 12, 10, and start finding a love for the game and understanding of the game. So that's in due time, but it's a good winner for the U15 youth national team to win. And, let's see if we can continue from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. One story we didn't talk about here, Willy Gnonto from Leeds. He is being sought after by Everton, and he is refusing to play for Leeds. He is under contract for Leeds. He said, I want to leave. I would like to go to Everton because they want me. Interesting. It's not very often you see players holding out like this. That is, I just want you guys' quick thoughts on this. In my opinion, poor that he has said, I do not want to play, and he's forcing the coach to, is essentially say, all right, whatever. I guess I can't pick you because you're not going to play. Danny and Brooks, thoughts on that? Like, just a poor look for the kid, right? He's being advised wrong, in my opinion.
You're being employed as a professional footballer at the club. You've got a job, basically, and your job requirement is to show up. Now, they can fine him and a bunch of stuff, all that sort of stuff, but if the player really wants to force a move, he can force a move. We talked about this, a couple of months ago in our group chat about player power, player power and forcing hands and agents and all that sort of stuff. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, it was all with the club.
Yep.
And now with contracts and pre-contractual agreements and all that sort of thing, the power's with the player. So I don't like it.
Yeah.
But we're powerless to stop it.
Not a good look for the player. And if I'm the club who's going to be buying him, it just says, wait, you're doing what? unless Everton advised him to do that. But I'd be a little concerned, that he's not looking to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's honestly, it's just the young person's mindset across the world. I think as, and I know this is an old person talk, like as technology and everything, and kids get what they want,
Right.
and I think it's just kind of filtered in throughout the world, and they see players like superstars demanding moves, and I'm at that level because I play on a big club, or I play in a Premier League club, and just think a lot of them, think they're on the equal level with those players, and that's not the case. Honestly, if I would be like, you're not going to Everton, I would try to actually force a move to like some other league and be like, yep, there you go, But again, players have the control now, and I wouldn't meet his needs. I'd be like, stick it out, man. Show us you're a good player, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, because that move might have come off, and then he's got to go crying back to his club.
Mm-hmm.
Another player who made a move, Danny, want your thoughts on this one? I believe it was only for £13 million. Fred from Manchester United to Fenerbahce. I would have thought he'd been worth more than that. I mean, he was a starting midfielder for Brazil and for several games for Man United, but only $13 million.
I think that points more to our negotiation tactics. I mean, we move slower than pond water when it comes to negotiation tactics. So I'm not surprised he went for only 13 million.
At that price, it'd almost been worth keeping him because you never know what could happen through the season. Who gets
Well,
injured, whatever.
you need money, right? You need money because at this
Yeah,
stage you've
something
already
like-
blown your wad on the 4 players that you brought in. So you need money. If you're going to bring in any more, I would have sold McTominay for 30 million.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, one item we haven't talked about today. Well, there's two actually, but let's get to it. Women's World Cup. The semifinals are set. It is Spain versus Sweden and England versus Australia. Danny, I know you watched that Australia. Who they play? Was it Australia?
France.
England.
Oh,
No, Australia play England, but Australia just beat and penalty kicks
France.
France.
So went 7-6. Went 10 kicks per.
Yeah, 20 total.
Yeah, 20 total. Someone said today that that's actually a World Cup record. That's the most penalty kicks in a World Cup. 20
For men and women?
Men and women.
Wow.
I haven't looked that up, so that's unusual.
Stato.
Yeah, Stato, Mr. Robato. Stato Origato, Mr. Robato.
Do.
Yep. We're going to have to see if we can get a tune to play on that. So someone said that's a record. I don't know. I'm interested, though. Has anybody seen the video of the plane, the Australian plane? They're in the plane, and you can see all the people, what they're watching. Everybody's watching on the video, the penalty kicks, and there's one lone guy watching Lord of the Rings.
I love that movie.
Would you watch that? No,
Talking
you would
about
watch.
not having a national pulse of what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to see if they save Earthrealm.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea what that means.
I'm looking forward to the semifinals. I'll probably get up and watch both of them.
Should be a good one.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Sweden obviously, long-time powerhouse, in the game, a lot of experience at major tournaments. It's their fifth appearance, and you got breaking news, Brooks.
You can finish. I looked up the stats.
Okay, there's a obviously Sweden's fifth appearance in a semifinal, and Spain's first appearance in the knockout stage.
So who's winning that one, Danny? Spain versus Sweden. Who's winning and going on to the
I
final?
think Spain. I mean, they're favourites. They've got some really good, talented players. Obviously, they've got the 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, Alexia Putellas.
Yep.
And she plays up in Spain as well. She's coming off an ACL injury, but she's one to watch for sure. And then the England-Colombia game I thought it was fantastic. It was end to end. I thought the Colombian women's national team would have give the US a run. They were powerful. They had pace, a lot of trickery. They worked their backsides off, made it really difficult for England. But I think again, experience, quality. Coming back into that team, got them through that, and they scored some good goals. Alessia Ruscio scored a fantastic goal.
You could tell in the last 20 minutes of that game that England knew how to salt the time away.
Yeah,
they have
experience.
Just a little bit more experience, a little bit more class, and how to time waste, how to get that little foul, how to take it to the corner. But with that being said, Colombia still had a chance or two. They still whipped the ball in a couple of times and forced those center backs to really work for it. So, but I didn't get to watch all of that game. But from what I did see,
The semi-final, the semi-final against Australia will be interesting because it's a host nation,
Yeah.
right? And they're coming into their first ever semi-final, as hosts, like since the US in '99 and 2003. So, but England are favourites. The sticking block with England though is that they're unbeaten in the last 37 games in all competitions. Who was the last team that beat them?
get out of here.
Australia,
Australia?
2-0.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Lord.
in a friendly back home in England. So.
Hmm.
England will win it, and it's their first World Cup final. They just got too much quality for me. Georgia Stanway was outstanding the other day, and Kira Walsh has just come back from injury. So, they've got Alessia Russo up front. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be England versus Spain in the final. And then
I called that.
you never did you?
You did.
I
Beginning?
called it England-Spain, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the way back in the.
All the way back. In fact, actually, I've got my betting app, Little Caesars. Oh, no, sorry, Caesars Sportsbook.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I've got.
You bet on Spain, didn't you?
I bet on Spain and England, so I covered my backside.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Wow, very nice. Brooks.
Yes.
Stato. What do we got? Is it a world record? Is it a World Cup record? 2026?
Yeah. Well, and you gotta. I was gonna. Yeah. So it says here. It said the 20 penalties, multiple. It took the longest and was the wildest shootout in World Cup history, men's or women's. So that is the record. And then, do you know what the previous record was?
I'm going to take a random guess at 18.
Nope.
19.
Says here, 12 penalty kicks were taken in the Germany versus France shootout in 1982.
Wait. 12 as in like 6 apiece?
That's what it says, yeah.
What?
That could be wrong, though.
We might have to do some
You letting us
research.
down here, Stato?
I feel that there's been a lot of games that have gone to 6 and 7 shooters, right? Like there has
It says
to
what?
be.
What is the record number of penalties at the World? Oh, that's penalties. My bad. It didn't pick up penalty kicks. Okay. But yes,
We're
that.
going to have to fire him.
Nah, dang it.
He needs to go back to his other table.
Yeah, you need to back to
He
your
needs,
own
to,
table
he
and
needs
get
to
it
do
right.
his research.
Yeah. All right, boys. All right, we got 2 things we need to get to before we're done here. Danny, how is our fantasy team doing? The Waz fantasy team. How have we been? How did we do after week 1? And we're still not done yet. We still got games, like 1 game to play. But how are we doing?
We've got 1 game to play. We're 23rd right now out of 51 in week 1.
51 teams we're
51
competing
teams,
against?
yeah.
All right.
23rd right now. We still have Mason Mount to contribute to points tomorrow
Okay.
against Wolves, and there's definitely some midweek considerations for early transfers. I will say that.
Oh, wow.
So, but if you look at the points and I've gone through and I've done my analysis, and you look at the teams that are above us in the table, everybody's got Haaland. So you have to find a strategy around it
Yeah.
to support him with players that are going to get you points when
Yeah.
He's going to get you points
when
always.
he's always going to get you points. So,
Yeah.
I think Ollie Watkins let me down this weekend, or let us down. I took a chance and he let us down, but I'm going to stick with him because I do think Villa at home against Everton they're gonna create
Nailed it.
chances.
Matoma didn't
so-
score, did he? Unfortunately.
Matoma didn't score. No,
Yeah.
he didn't.
Usually he does.
So
But Pope did well. I mean, only 1 goal conceded.
yeah, but I mean, Ben Mee let us down. Brentford obviously conceding the 2 goals against Tottenham. So
Yeah.
we'll it's early days. It's early days. Don't
Is
worry
there
about it.
one player that stuck out to you this weekend from any of the games that you're saying, I need to add him to our team for next week?
Tonali.
So I will say, yes, he played very well against Philly. He scored on his debut, but apparently he only scored like 3 and 38 last year in the Serie A. So careful.
Yeah.
Careful. Don't let Team Waz down here.
No, I won't.
Harvey Barnes.
I won't.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes, but he came on as a sub. He
I
didn't
know,
even
I know,
start,
I know.
So.
Didn't
right.
James Madison do it right for Tottenham?
He did 2 assists.
Yeah, the new number 10, by the
The
way.
new number 10.
That's a
Tottenham,
number 10
James
shirt.
Madison, yeah.
Yeah.
He was instrumental, actually, in the way Tottenham played. And it was very, very different Tottenham team, too.
Yeah. He's going to be a good.
Very
The
different.
new guy that took
6
over. I think he's gonna
debuts.
do
I
well.
was really pleased to see Ange Postecoglou, the new Tottenham coach, play as he said he was going to, attacking
Front
football
foot, yeah.
on the front foot.
Really good
it
stuff.
was yeah. I mean, 2-2. It could have gone either way, to be honest. But I thought, wow, Kulusevski, Son, James Madison up front. Whoo.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people right now are thinking Tottenham are going to end up in the lower half of the table because they lost Harry Kane. I think they end up in the top 7, as I predicted, because they will find a way. I think they're not done in the transfer market. I think they're going to go buy a player or 2, and I think it could be good. Yeah. All right, boys. You know what we're going to do?
Wheel of randomness.
Nailed it. We're gonna do
Wheel
Wheel of Randomness. All right, so
You can spin it.
just
You
so
can read
everybody's
your writing.
aware, the Wheel of Randomness is, as we'll say right here, it's the wheel, and we spin it, and it's got questions asked, or questions on there that we all three will answer as quickly as we can. We're not going to take our time because we only have 4 minutes left. But all new questions that Danny put on for us. All right, Brooks, why don't you go ahead and spin it, and then we'll have Danny read out the question, and we will answer them as it goes. All right, Wheel of Randomness.
Oh, I didn't spin it hard
Oh,
enough.
Christ, spin that thing. All right, Danny. Looks like it's a red one, is it? Red? What do we got?
There's the red one.
Can you read
It's-
it? You have
it's
to
your-
tilt
it's
it.
your-
Oh, it's a good one. Actually, I like this one.
Yeah.
I actually like this one. If you can have a one-time meal with 3 people, who are they?
Could be anyone not soccer related, right?
Yeah. Anybody who are not soccer related.
Anybody but not soccer related?
Yeah.
All right. You want me to go first, boys?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to wait. Dead or alive? Has to be alive?
No, anytime.
Anyone.
Anybody.
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 All right. I'm going to blow your minds here. Messi,
God, it's gonna be all soccer
yeah,
players.
original Ronaldo, and Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
I didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh.
Queen
All right.
fan, huh?
I love Queen. Love me some Queen.
Oh.
Brooks, you want to go next?
Go ahead, Danny. You go first. I'll go. And then I'll go.
Okay. David Beckham,
Ooh, good one, yeah.
my grandfather,
Oh, there you go.
and George Michael.
Oh, ooh, there's a good
Nice,
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, very nice.
Jackie Robinson,
Okay.
baseball player growing
Yeah.
up, so that's me. Clint Dempsey.
Clint Dempsey?
Yeah.
Clint Dempsey.
Wow.
Okay,
And a third one. Shakira.
All right, spin it again.
What are your intentions with Shakira at the dinner table? You know what? Spin it again. Just onwards. We'll spin it again. Shakira.
To have good conversation.
Yeah. Great conversation. Okay. Purple. What do we got, Danny?
All right. Let me just turn it sideways. What is one thing people would never guess about you? You can go first on that one as well.
What is one thing people would never guess about me? I have a beautiful singing voice.
Really?
In
Whoa.
the shower. Only in the shower.
In the shower?
I've never done
Does your wife tell
karaoke.
you this?
My wife will confirm that I have a very nice singing
Yeah,
voice.
you know,
and
my
I
girlfriend Brooke
sing
said something about that a couple of weeks ago. You got a nice
about
voice.
me having a nice singing
Yeah.
voice.
Well, you having a singing voice, yes, but me having a singing voice. Brooks, I'm going last on
Me.
this one.
Oh, I love to karaoke.
You do like karaoke?
I do. I like karaoke.
Oh
So
my.
the next time we go to Stingers, then could we see you up there doing a song?
They don't have karaoke there.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've gone to bars with friends and karaoke. Sure, why not?
Wow.
I
All
would
right.
love that.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing people would not guess about me. I am a massive WWE wrestling fan. Massive.
I don't even know how to take that.
Big, strong men,
Yeah.
slimy, oiled up,
Yeah.
around a ring.
Sounds more like Nate.
Maybe that's why he likes Nate so much. I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, all right, boys. That was fun. Love the Wheel of Randomness. All right, that's going to wrap us up for the week. All right, Soccer World is one of our favorite partners. Visit them at soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. If you're in the Metro Detroit area, they've got 3 locations, Rochester, Brighton, and Canton. Next Level Training, the best trainers in the country. There's a reason coaches, players, and scouts come here to Michigan to watch players. It's because of Next Level Training. Thank you to Dog and Pony Show Brewing. Love you guys. Thanks for the beer. We're going to be in there in the next week or two. We'll let everybody know so they can come and join us and have a beer with us. Thank you to Michigan Jags. Really looking forward to the season getting going. Next week is the Jags Open, the Jags Cup, as they call it. All the Jags teams competing. My kids are competing. Oh, it's going to be fun. Can't wait. Anyway, all right, boys and girls, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Danny, Brooks, as always, a pleasure. It's been a great time. We miss Nate. He'll be back next week, right?
Yeah.
All
Nate
right.
will be back next week, and then it's back to the 4 of us.
Exactly. All right, boys. Thanks for everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.